What's up everyone, welcome back to another video by clip on my YouTube channel. And in this video I'm gonna go through the track from the previous video that I did and this dynamic type of the arrangement. So this is what I left before I left for a vacation, and I had a vacation. Actually, I was on the vacation for the last 2 weeks and I tried to record video there, but it wasn't possible because I didn't pack myself kind of good, so I forgot to pack the tripod. Actually, I didn't want to bring it, and without the tripod it was pretty hard to find a nice shot or nice angle, and with the external recorder and external light as well. So in general I didn't manage to record the video on the vacation, but I will do this as I'm really looking forward for making videos outside of the studio, as it's becoming a bit annoying for me. And also there are so many things which I would like to say that do not require the studio, so there is no need to be on this place. And there are some really wonderful locations in which I wanted to make the videos. Anyway, so first of all, I'm gonna work on this dynamic type of the track, which I did in the previous video as well, which I showed you. As in the previous video I just did a few types because I was packing for the holidays and I didn't had enough time to do all the proper things. So this is why I left the project before I left for a vacation like that, and now I want to continue working. Now the main problem about recording the videos is that it's really hard for me to capture the really important moments, the moments when I get or I find that really nice sounding moment, as it will require a lot of recording, and in general sometimes that is requiring a lot of time. And also when camera is on, I have a feeling that someone is always watching, and it gives the type of a bit of the pressure, but it's not a pressure. But anyway, just that moment that camera is on is pulling me out of my comfort zone when I'm finding the best sounding results or ideas or melodies or whatsoever. And in general, sometimes for some ideas, for some of the moments or some of the elements in the track, I need few sessions, few more things, few sessions and few different elements, different layers, different variations, and sometimes it just requires for a bit longer of time. So if you are wondering why you wasn't able to see any like big moment, or the meat, as I like to say, the moment that makes the track on the another level. But what I can do really good when the camera is on is that even push me in a better position of analyzing the track, because I'm not gonna get lost into this creative zone. So I think that this is something that I can offer in a way that it's gonna be really good while the camera is on. While having these creative moments, it will require a longer time. And I'm preparing also after this summer, most likely in September, I'm gonna start recording the single shot sounds and atmospheres, and in general how to create these all beautiful sounds. So the main idea about Scientific Master Course that was at the beginning was to create about the single shot sounds, but then I realized that I need to address the kick and basses. This is mostly the first part of the making the track, and therefore I dedicated a whole class to kick and the bass, while next one is going to be all about single shot sounds, the atmospheres, as this is something that I do the best. I don't say the best from others, I say that some skills I do the best. This is definitely the single shot sounds and the atmospheres of the track. All right, anyway, so let's hear this track. As I already said, the track was starting with the chords, which I'll most likely change. Then I added this serum part, but I'm not gonna listen this, I'm gonna listen it from this. So yeah, I did several things. So what I did to this sequence, in general, it's only the saw oscillator with 16 unisons and distortion on. So what I'm trying to do is to create type of the energy booster or uplifting moment, but not to be pitched up. So I don't like much of the sounds that are pitching up, as it's just, I don't know, it's a cheap solution if you ask me. So what I like mostly is to move the cutoff or to make a different type of automation that's gonna provide the similar effect, but it's not gonna sound that like a bit annoying in some moments. So in general, I will spend a few sessions, actually every session I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on increasing the sound quality of this sequence. So what is important is that the envelope is not full enough, that it needs to have a dynamic, that it needs to have start, and then every time the note hits, it needs to go a little bit down. So am I gonna do that to the cutoff as well, as I already did with the envelope 2 or not? I'm gonna decide a bit later. But envelope, the volume envelope needs to go down. So the difference from the previous video is that I moved the random completely, which means that every voice of those 16 voices are gonna start on a different position, and that's why it sounds much bigger. But I think I'm gonna remove the this transient, when it hits, it doesn't sound so good. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit of attack. It do the same thing. So let me see like this. Okay, so this is the moment which I added when we compare with the more traditional arrangement, as these moments of, I call them tension builders. I'm gonna have the whole section in my upcoming class about the single shot sounds, about this type. So I just want to give you a small info about the tension builders, which are pretty important sequences in a Psytrance music. All right, so this sounds pretty nice. It comes up, and then there is a big thing that after this whole rising moment, then the drop in the energy comes. But I also think that it should stop just at least 1/4 of the bar just before it hits again. Then here I'm gonna drop some big snare, which is gonna just be like breaking this part into the two different sequences. And yeah, let's see, maybe the Kashmir, why not? The snares, the big snare. Yeah, something like this sounds pretty nice. So this was pretty fast. I might change this, but anyway, for this purpose of this video is gonna be pretty good. So I'm looking for the transient. It's pretty burned, this one, anyway. So yeah, this is going to be the start point of the snare. So yeah, something like this. And I'm gonna make it a bit shorter, right? So it's pretty sharp and maybe too loud, but I think there's too much of highs. It makes a bit better sound. Actually, these ones are not sounding so good now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to those toms, like to put like to go on the kick position and offbeat position, something like this, and then of course I'm gonna set. Okay, so let me hear. Okay, something like this, but I'm gonna turn it on, and modulations I'm gonna remove, and maybe I'm gonna do something like filtering, so like something like this, but I think I'm gonna transpose them a little bit. And yeah, I don't think that fade out is good. I can also see. All right, so I'm gonna try to see if the tom is hitting on some frequency which will give it type kinda tonality, which is possible for the snare, for the toms, because they will have the constant frequency. They're not going to be pitched down as the kick. If they're pitched down, then also we can find some more harmonic frequency, but in general I wouldn't tune them. So only for those elements that have like small peak, as mostly those toms, they have kind of layer of the sine wave, which will peak on only one frequency, which will give it some type of the tonality. This is C2 and this track is all right, so maybe -5. So I suppose to pitch it for, yeah, I think that this will be, let's maybe to reduce a little bit of lows as well. There's a big difference between cutting the frequencies and reducing them. In my opinion, the best solution is always to reduce them so they will be present. Only the frequencies sometimes on some elements that are below 100, if they are playing in the same time with the kick and the bass. If not, I'm always trying to reduce them, not to cut them, because cutting will cause some different moments that are gonna destroy the sound or change the effect. They're gonna change the phase. So when there is no need for cutting them, I'm always trying to use the shell or the bell just to reduce them. And mostly when I'm reducing the lows, if they're playing with the kick and the bass, I'm reducing them that much so that they just go behind the kick and the bass, and not to lose the power, because I hear a lot in most of the Psytrance tracks that there's only kick and the bass in the lows, there's not much in the low mids area, not much, and I hear like on all percussions that they are cut it off almost everything below 1000 hertz, which is for me a bit too much. So if there's a lot of information in the lower area from the percussions, I'm always fan of using the shell. And if I will cut, but I will put the low cut to touch 50 or 100 hertz, not more than that. So let me just try to, I think it starts pretty fast. So simple. Another filter. I really think that every channel should have integrated filter like this, because I use them so much, so much. Even if I have on Serum or some other VST, if I have the filter, I'm gonna most likely always have the external filter, because I want to be sure that there's no high frequencies in some moments and that it's just gonna open up the whole. So this is type of the detail which I really think are important. So how energetically everything is happening and what's happening with the moment when there's a rise, there's a big intro like 1 minute, and then we put a lot of risers, they're rising up, and then there's a contrast in the energy, like everything goes down, goes up, and then small kind of fill with only the one snare, which I dropped from the Kashmir sample pack, and it creates this dramatic contrast, and all this type of the arrangement is all about that. So I'm gonna move forward, as in this part when the kick and bass are starting, I really feel that some big percussion moments should be like some really big drums. I already tried to make something with this, but this is not the best case, but it will give you the what I wanted to do with the idea, but I don't think that this sequence is good enough. Something like something percussive, like some big drums, like maybe Brazilian one or something like this. So I'm gonna try to find something really fast. If not, I'm gonna continue recording about this track a bit later as well, or tomorrow in some different session. But let's try percussion. Yeah, percussion, Brazil, let's say Brazil, if there's anything like that. No, something more aggressive. No, pretty nice. Nah. So for the moments like this, I'm gonna spend enough time, because I'm talking now about something. So what I did with this, channel over here, I just kind of sketched the idea what I want to have in this. So when I opened, let's say now after 2 weeks after the vacation and everything, I came back, I knew exactly, actually it reminded me what I wanted to do on this part of the track. So when I dropped this, I knew already that it's not good enough, but I'm not gonna delete it until I find something that's gonna replace it and that's gonna sound better than it. And it might happen that I'm gonna replace them, that I'm gonna chop them, but every time slowly I'm gonna add until I get something that I wanted. But the main thing about this is imagination, that every time I'm in the studio, I'm getting the ideas, like it's like the sound inside the head, and then marking that and then trying to edit or to recreate it from your mind. So in general, this is what I really think is really important, and this is my way of working. This is why I'm not able to produce that much tracks really fast, because my way of working is in general like there are ideas which I'm trying to pass on the DAW, and I'm not trying to fill up the spaces with some sounds and then I'm gonna go with something that sounds good, polite, or that is going to be something like this. So in my case, and my whole philosophy about making music is that we should, it's not that we should, but my way of working is that I want to pass my ideas, and there's a lot of things are happening inside when it comes for the sounds. Like every day I'm always making some rhythms, even when I'm driving, so there's a constant music going in this skull. Anyway, so here I really wanted to have something but more aggressive. No, when I say aggressive, I mean like bigger, like some bigger drums. I do have my favorite sample pack here, but let's try it. I'm not sure that this one is gonna work, but maybe it's gonna at least give a better feeling from this what I have right now. So yeah, it's definitely better than what I have over here. So what I'm going to do instead of, where did I drop it? Oh my god, I just dropped it. Ah, it's here. So instead of having so many different channels, I'm just gonna go through track version, new version, and I'm gonna paste this one over here. This one is pretty good because I will be able to chop it up, and let's see if it have any tonality, but I think it does. So it's in the B. Oh my god, this is not gonna be so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would need to transpose it for -5, which is not gonna be so good, I think. -5, and let's see here. I'm gonna choose standard drums. Whoa, nice. Alright, so I'm gonna spend a bit more time later on about this sequence, but it's something that I add right now. So here... so something like this. So in general, I made some progress and I wanted to record all of that. Anyway, so there are some sequences which I maybe add, which I maybe not, but I maybe use them for something different. But the most important is that when I open a track and there are some really important parts, that this is the first thing I'm gonna fix. That way the form of a track is gonna be better, and then as the sessions will go more and more, I'm gonna go more in details and I'm gonna try to fix the details later on. Maybe I'm gonna add another layer. Like for this one, it sounds pretty good, but it's pretty low. So the first thing I'm considering doing is setting the another one 16 just on 1 octave below, and maybe just because I like to do it and I think it's a nice way is to flip vertically or horizontally, so I have a different waveform, just because I think, yeah, so they are now actually exactly the same. So flip vertically, yeah, So I want to have two different inverted, even if they are in two different octaves. I think it's gonna sound a bit better. Sorry, yeah, anyway. So what I did, I made the shorter, and this is maybe the most valuable advice I can give you to when it comes for percussions and all the sounds is their length. It's gonna be super important for the quality of the whole track. So how much of the highs every time is gonna... So sometimes if I hear that any percussion have a bit more or a bit longer high informations, I'm gonna or do like I did right now with the fade out and make it shorter, or maybe I'm gonna add the filter and add the, every time it's punch is gonna filter out it a little bit. That way I'm gonna have a better punch, nicer, tighter punch, but I'm not gonna take enough of the space in the highest frequencies because they are most difficult ones and they can destroy your mix in general a lot. So the decay of the highs is really important. How to do it properly is all connected to practice about your ears and making those decisions. But anyway, maybe you are even now able to hear it out, but maybe you just didn't think about it. So this is why I wanted to share this advice with you as well, as this is something that can be really increasing your whole mix. So some hi-hats also, they can be a bit longer sometimes. They can give a good feeling, but sometimes I hear that there's like an overlap, especially if you are working in Ableton with a drum rack or some other samplers where you are triggering some hi-hats which will have one note and then another will start, but the one is gonna have the release from the previous one. So sometimes I always have, actually always I like to have the percussions with the fade out because I can control. So this is why I always like to see them, because I can see visually what's going on. I can see the way of the fade out, so I can change now the curves. I can do it like this, maybe to be a bit slower or to be like faster or bigger curve. So it all depends from sequence that I'm working on. And also this one, I don't want to spend that much time recording all this because this is going to be painful, but I'm going to go and I'm going to chop all of them together because all of these shots and each one are not on the grid, which is something that I want to fix. And also I think they are all kind of bigger in the length and I want to make all of them shorter so they can be a bit more, how to say, percussive, so like shorter shots, and that way it's gonna fit much better in the mix and I can control how good the dynamic of this sequence is gonna be. Anyway, I think this is gonna be enough for this video. How much I have recorded so far, 29 minutes, again too long, but anyway. So thank you very much for watching and see you soon with another video. Bye.